Hi everyone, welcome back to another episode of Apologetically Me. I am Maggie,
I am Wanda.
and we are here with an episode called Heir to the Throne. We're going to be talking about our birth order, and by birth order we mean like order of when we were born, because I did not think about that. I thought it was called something else completely. But we're going to have a couple guest stars in today. It's going to be a Maggie family reunion, and Wanda is here with her also family.
Me, myself, and I family.
You know what? That's fine too. I have enough family for us to go around today. Okay, let's get us started with some quarantine updates. Wanda, tell the people what you got going on.
So, special thanks, shout out to Maggie for introducing me to Stars on Disney Plus. So, apparently now you can turn on Stars on Disney Plus and you get access to like more TV shows and movies, including ABC Family, which I just found out was owned by Disney, which is great because you get to watch all those like I don't know what they're called, like teen but not teen, like millennial rom-com type TV shows where there's like a like sitcoms.
Sitcoms, yeah.
Yes, specifically geared towards millennials. And those are great because it's like trashy movies, but trashy TV.
It seems like too trashy for me. Like I know my friends also talk about Baby Daddy a lot and Melissa and Joey, and I'm always like, ugh, it seems like too trash. Like
It's,
I need some good quality trash, you know what I mean?
yeah, but also you who watches like bad Netflix Christmas movies.
Yeah, that's just because it's Christmas. It's like you're in the season for it. You gotta watch it.
I don't know, I actually kind of like it. Like, I think they really do, they play on like the typical TV tropes and everything, but they really do a good job of building up the characters.
Also, I don't like laugh tracks. I think that's
Oh,
a big
but
thing for me too.
how do I know when to laugh or when something's funny if there's no laugh track?
Yes, but also I very rarely laugh at TV shows. Like I'll find it amusing or I'll exhale through my nose. That's it.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think maybe it's like the type of humor too, like more slapstick in a way.
What is
And
slapstick humor?
slapstick I think is just like to me it seems like cheap humor. Like maybe physical, like very like nothing clever in
No.
there.
No, it's
That's what
not.
I think slapstick is.
Well, if that's how you're describing what ABC Family TV shows are, it's not that. Like they're more of like the play on words, like the witty kind of humor. Like what slapstick to me, based on your definition, is like Step Brothers, which is like anything Will Ferrell, which is anything I don't like.
Okay, I just quickly Googled slapstick humor from my loud keyboard noises, and it's a style of humor involving exaggerated physical activity that exceeds the boundaries of normal physical comedy.
So no, oh, that's like Jackass.
Yeah, I would say so. Like Brooklyn Nine-Nine is still a sitcom, no?
But is it, or is it a situational comedy? Wait, that's what a sitcom is, isn't it? Wait, okay. Remember how we had a debate about this where The Office was not a sitcom.
It's a mockumentary.
And then isn't that what Brooklyn Nine-Nine is too?
Brooklyn Nine-Nine's not a mockumentary.
But it's not a sitcom, or it is.
Producers of NBC and any television network, please leave a comment below to tell us what the difference is between a sitcom and a normal TV show. Is your
Yeah.
show a sitcom? Do you want to sponsor us? Hit us up.
What's your update for this week?
So I've been going through a Marvel marathon, if you will, only because WandaVision has triggered it, and I was like, oh shit, there's like a lot of stuff that I'm missing. So I've started watching it on Disney Plus in timeline order. I have skipped over a couple movies. I'm sorry, Ant-Man. I love you, Paul Rudd. But it's a little hard to watch. But I was watching Iron Man 3 a few weeks ago. Not a few weeks ago, a few days ago. Sorry, it feels like weeks. Um, and I was like, yo, like Aldrich Killian, the bad guy in Iron Man 3 is like very attractive. And I know he looks kind of like a douchebag, but something about him, I'm just like, damn, Guy Pearce is like a fine man. Very good looking. Way to go. And I made a poll on Twitter and Instagram to see if people agreed because Wanda did not agree with me. In fact, she shamed me and verbally booed me. And it turns out Twitter and Instagram agreed. We were at 50% on Instagram. I think like 6 people ended up voting. And then 3 of them were from me. Well, no, 2 of them were from me. One was from my friend. Everyone else said no. What the hell? And everyone on Twitter too said no. So I guess the results are in. Aldrich Killian is not hot, but he is to me, and that's what counts.
Yeah, I feel like that was a lost cause. We'll insert a picture right here
Tell me if
of
you think he's hot, cause I do.
he is not. His okay, take a look at his teeth. I'm a teeth person, so one of the first things I notice on people are their teeth, and he has
Two.
like his teeth are not like buck teeth, but they're not great. Like I don't know what's wrong with them, but there's just something that's off about them. It just doesn't do it for me. And then when you like zoom in close to his face, like his eyes are kind of droopy. Like who am I to judge him? But those are my reasons for why I don't agree with Maggie. Like I honestly think that he looked better back in like the 1999 from like Iron Man 3 where he was like wild and untamed with his hair like grown out and everything.
When he was like a crippled man.
Yeah, but like he had like there was like a niceness about him, you know? Like I felt bad for him. But like I didn't feel bad for like the CEO version of him.
I didn't feel bad for him. I was like, damn, you're attractive. Like your personality shit. Yeah, your teeth aren't great. Yeah, your hair is not great, but for some reason, I'm just really attracted to it.
Would you know that like Marilyn Monroe quote? It's like you don't like me at my worst, you don't get me at my best or whatever. Would you have waited the like 10, 15 years from him to go from the 1999 version of him to like the CEO version of him?
Let me clarify. I think he would shoot any his character I think would shoot any potential love interest. Like he's very all about me kind of thing. You know that trope where like the ugly person becomes hot and then they're they're in the movies they're supposed to be like nice and stuff, but in reality they're just still an asshole. Um so I think maybe he would still be an asshole and I would not wait 10 years. I would not want to be with him, but I can respect him that he is very attractive.
Basically, there's like no redeeming qualities to him. And you're like,
Yeah.
yeah, that's what I like.
Yeah. Okay, I understand that this makes me look bad and that I cannot reason with the general public. Trust me, well, just look at the picture. Just tell me what you guys think. I think he's really good looking. It's like art, you know? You don't want to get with art. You just think it's like a beautiful piece of art.
I have also been watching the Marvel movies in order, and I've watched every single one so far, even though there's like a bunch of them I don't like. My general thing is like I don't seem to like the second movie. I don't like Thor, Dark World. I
Hmm.
didn't like Iron Man 2. Don't like Winter Soldier. Jordan doesn't
How
skip
dare you?
movies, even though he was like the Winter Soldier is a very bad character and he's very teen and angsty and everything. And like he's supposed to be like a
That's
super.
another crush of
I
mine.
rem-
Seeing a pattern here.
I remember that. So when we were watching Winter Soldier, I was like, "Hey, do you think this man is attractive?" Referring to the Winter Soldier, and then he's like, "No. Why would you ask that?" And I'm like, "Cause Maggie thinks so."
Maggie has very trash taste in guys, apparently. I think he's so. Oh my god, the trailer for Falcon and Winter Soldier. Oh my god, he is so beautiful.
I
Hate it
mean,
here. I hate this. Didn't like the Winter Soldier, like the second Captain America. I think
yeah,
that one was really good.
yeah, it's one of my least favorite Marvel movies. I don't know why. It's just the whole like inner struggle with like the Winter Soldier and Captain America and the whole like Hydra within Shield thing. It was just like, eh, such like real people problems.
I don't think I watch it for the plot. I'll be honest. I think it's more like it's entertainment, you know? It's like escapism. I want to have fun when I watch it. Like, yeah, they're not great movies, but I think The Winter Soldier, like, I really like the fight scenes. And I know people don't really like them because there's too many jump cuts, but like,
Yes.
I like it.
I think it's too realistic. I don't get the same escapism that you get from like the other movie. Right now, corruption is very real, and this could happen to our own government.
You're saying the government has a Winter Soldier lying around.
uh Project MK Ultra, like come on. Like you cannot say that there's not something hidden somewhere that could potentially lead to a Winter Soldier or like a breed of superhuman people.
I will be upset if it comes out, only because I think our insurance rates will go through the roof.
Yeah, imagine trying to compete with like a super soldier on insurance.
Your rate is $1,000 a week.
You mean you get the common cold? Wow, weak much?
Yeah, the Winter Soldier would just walk it off. There's a thing too that Captain America was saying when he was trying to give his like pep speech in Ultron, and he was like, "If you get killed, walk it off." And I'm like, "Damn, I am not meant for this crowd."
I think it's like when I was watching that, I was like, wow, Captain America, not only is he like strong, tall, like good at fighting, like he didn't have any of these skills before, but he's also a good public speaker.
Charismatic. He's America's golden boy. That's why he's Captain America.
Did the charisma come with the injections or was the charisma always there?
I think it's always kind of been there, but I think it's like now that he's like more confident and secure and knows his place in the world, that gives him like the extra charisma.
Is it confident or secure, or is it because he's conventionally attractive?
I think he was attractive too before.
Have
He
you
was like
seen his
his
CGI'd head on the tiny
yeah,
body?
okay, the body wasn't attractive, but like the face,
No,
it was still like Chris Evans.
no, but his face on the body didn't work.
Yeah, the
Like,
body didn't work, but the
no, no, no,
head
no,
was
no, no.
fine.
But if you put the head, okay, you have to look at it holistically. You can't just look at him
No,
for
I
his face.
refuse. I won't do it.
His head didn't make sense. Like his head looked too old for the body. Like it looked like it was like a 30-year-old person's head on like a 15-year-old's body. Like it was
Yes,
very weird.
and the voice, it didn't match up.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, but also we're not talking realistic here, okay? We're talking hypothetical.
I think his face only works on the fact that he's a 6'2" man and he is very jacked. I think that's the only reason why his face works on his body.
If Chris Evans is watching this, just know that I would die for you. Also, I think like huge kudos to the Marvel actors because like it's grown so much. Like from I was reading stuff about Iron Man 1 and it's been like well, Iron Man 1 apparently was like its own indie movie. Like Robert Downey Jr. like funded it. Like it was a mess. They had like no plot line going on. But like I was watching it again, I'm like, holy shit, like this is actually really well developed. Like
Mm-hmm.
it's a good movie. So I'm really impressed with them. And it's grown so much that now they have like so much CGI, like special effects and like all the actors you have to do it in front of a green screen now. Like it's hard for you to really like know what's going on behind you. Like you have to really rely on the director or whoever's there with you to tell you like what's going on in the background, like explosion, like 2 o'clock, like turn around, be surprised, like someone's about to pierce you. So I think that's like phenomenal acting on them because I'm a really bad actor and I need to like go off my environment or like people around me. So the fact that they can just act like that and like these are very talented people. Like yeah, they're like huge big star name people, but they're very talented. Go them.
Did you hear about the thing where even the extras in Marvel movies have now been like cataloged so that like the same extra could show up in like multiple different movies just to continue like the plot line?
That's really good. And I think it just goes to show like Kevin Feige, I don't know if
Hmm.
that's how you pronounce it, but he's like really good at his job. Like I think that's why DC Universe is failing compared to Marvel because they don't have like
Yeah.
that whole project manager who like has an eye for continuity like that.
He was like hired in the first place to produce because he was like a big Marvel fan. So imagine like the child version of him, like how happy he must be internally. This
All
is
those years of bullying have paid off.
assuming he was bullied for reading comic books, which I think when he was younger, that was pretty normal. Like comic books were like a big thing.
Yeah, I think they stopped being a big thing around our age. Like I read a few comics here and there, but
It's coming back.
yeah, it is coming back. I think it's hard to find comics because I found mine at like secondhand bookstores.
Hmm.
Also, when I say comics, I mean Garfield. Sorry, I should have specified.
I was thinking like superhero comics, but
I read like
okay.
one or two, but like it was hard to find them. I would have read them if I had found them, but like I can only get my hands on like Babysitter's Club, Garfield, Calvin and Hobbes, the Sweet Valley High twins.
I find like comics like hard to follow, like superhero comics. Like there's so much like how to it's not like left to right always, you know? Like some things like there's like a middle of the page thing and then like something happens in this corner. So it's like I have trouble focusing on like the order and paying attention to like what if I missed something? Or like, what if I read something that was supposed to be like a plot twist first? And I'm like, oh man, I spoiled it for myself.
Oh man, if this confuses you, wait till you hear about manga.
I remember when I was little, I picked one up and like it's like the opposite way, right? You read it the opposite way, but I read it the traditional, like conventional way. And I was like, okay, I'm so confused. Like, I don't get it. And I never read manga again.
On to our bow, 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 beef of the week. Wanda, tell the people what beef you got.
My beef of the week is that sound. Just kidding.
That was really mean.
um, my beef is with Amazon Prime, just continuing on with the whole streaming service thing, I guess. So Amazon Prime doesn't seem to kick off the last person who joined or prevent like another person from watching. Okay, so imagine a queue, right? And a person joins the queue to watch a show, and then another person joins, and then another person joins. But when the fourth person joins, it doesn't stop the fourth person from joining the line. Instead, it kicks off one of the first people who joined. Like, why? Why does it do that? Why does it just not prevent the fourth person from joining instead of kicking somebody else off?
I don't know what to tell you here. I cannot offer any support.
But
Only words of
have you
advice.
experienced that recently?
Like when I'm watching something on Prime and then like it's gone.
It literally says like too many devices or like too many like
Oh, um, no.
oh. Why does it just happen to me? And it's like, but I was here first. Like, why are you kicking me off? Like, wouldn't it make sense for you to
Oh,
just not let the next person in? Because if you, okay, for example, if you go on Netflix and there's too many people watching, they'll just tell you, like, hey, there's too many people watching. And you're like, cool.
mm.
But it doesn't do that for Prime. It just kicks one of the first few people off and it lets the next person watch. But I found that if you refresh it, it usually lets you back on.
Because you're the new one.
Because you're the new person. So it kicks someone else off, and then it's like, oh, that's not my problem anymore. Why doesn't Disney have autoplay? That's the other thing.
Oh yeah, that's a really good point.
Like, it seems like one of the most basic features. Like, yes, I know they're still like learning and growing. And the fact, like, why is there so many streaming services in the first place? Like, I'm all for healthy competition, but if you're going to compete with Netflix, get your stuff together.
I don't like that I have to pay for so many streaming services,
Yeah,
but
it's basically cable now.
so my beef of the week is actually YouTube. And
Oh,
I know this is kind of weird. So my mom watches like a lot of YouTube, like
uh,
a lot. And somehow she went on the conservative side of YouTube, guys. Like someone at YouTube in the algorithm has introduced Ben Shapiro to my mother. So maybe my beef of the week is Ben Shapiro now. I really do not like Ben Shapiro. I was sleeping in yesterday and my mom woke me up to tell me about this guy named Ben something. And then she showed me a picture of him. And I said, disgusting. You woke me up to show me this. This is blasphemy. Mother, no. And apparently he was weighing in on stuff about The Bachelor that was happening. Um, and I'm like, what is he commenting about? Like, stay in your lane. Like, no one likes you. Stop it. And my mom was saying, like, how does he have so many views on YouTube? Like, he must have an audience. Like, people must love him or agree with him. And I'm like, yeah, because America's full of, like, people like him. Like, there are a lot of extremists out there or racist, bad people. Do not be one of them, mother. We do not support Ben Shapiro. Like, go quickly Google him, read about his views on, like, homosexuality, on abortion, on literally anything. He is the worst. That's my beef of the week. I'm not even gonna get into the stuff about The Bachelor because we'll be here all episode.
that's funny because like my dad fell down the same rabbit hole, not like with Ben Shapiro, but just the whole YouTube right extremists kind of thing.
Yeah, I honestly blame YouTube for it. I mean, I really shouldn't because like the views were maybe already there in a way. It's just YouTube gave them that little push
Yeah,
to go like a step further.
yeah. It like before my dad discovered YouTube, he was fine.
Anyways, that wraps up my beef of the week.
Good wrap up.
Moving on to our topic. Like we said, this is really gonna be like a birth order episode. And my family, I guess, will be stopping by here and there. We got some guest appearances from my nephew. My older brother, I'm gonna be making the quotes for him. I remember his answers. We got my younger brother coming. We got my cousin coming. Family friend. I just call her cousin. It's just easier. Um, but first, we're gonna be talking about our birth order. Wanda, tell the people what your birth order is in your family
I am the oldest and only child of my
and
family
youngest,
and youngest.
oldest, middle,
And
youngest.
I am all. I am all of the above. Which is like pretty easy to guess, like realistically, if you've been listening for the past few episodes, you would very much realize that I am an only child and I exhibit only child tendencies.
So we were reading this website the other day actually to get to know more about birth order. And there are some stereotypes that I think you really fit into. What are the firstborn personality types or like generic personality types for a firstborn slash only?
I think firstborn and only, it's like slightly different, right? Let's say there's a Venn diagram and it's like in this like one side is like firstborn and one side is like only child. I think the firstborn does like there is a middle where they share similar traits because there was a period of time where they were the only child, right? But then I think some traits develop separately for a firstborn child because then you lose all the attention from your parents and you have to take care of yourself and all of that fun stuff.
Okay, what are the generic personality types of an only child?
So they say that it's maturity, perfectionism, conscientiousness, diligence, and natural born leaders. What is conscientiousness?
I think it's like you're very aware of your surroundings, like you're very sensitive or in
Oh,
tune with other people's like mindsets. Or
oh,
or also like you're a peacemaker. Let me look this up so that we don't look stupid. Quality of wishing to do one's work or duty well thoroughly. I was way off. Tend to be efficient and organized as opposed to easygoing and disorderly. You want to do a task well. That
oh,
is totally you. I
am
got that so wrong.
so I guess with mine, yes, I exhibit all of these traits. I am an only child. I am
You know,
privileged.
you know what's funny? Like, I think when I met you or something, we were on this topic. Like, we had this discussion. I don't know if I had it with you or someone else, but I was like, oh yeah, like one that's definitely an only child. Like, you can just tell. Like with certain people, you can just tell that they're an only child. And I don't mean that in a negative way. I just mean that as like a statement, you know? Like you exhibit the only child personality traits, which come to mind are like things that are like you know exactly what you want. Like you and I think self-reliant too, but I think also like there is a sense of privilege around it.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, this just goes back to, I think it was like episode 3 where I was like, some people just seem like their horoscopes. Like some people are just so very much Leos, and it's just like, yeah. What is, what about you? What is your natural order?
So I am a middle child. I am also the only girl, so that's something else we have to consider too in this um debate or analysis. Middle child generally like they tend to be ignored in the family because like they're in the middle there like there's things to overlook. The older one has like a lot more responsibility, a lot more pressure. The younger one is kind of like the baby of the family, so you have to look out for them more. The middle child is expected to be like self-reliant or like the one who's like gets their shit together. Like we don't want to look at you, just do it, just get the job done. Um, so I think they tend to go ignored or they tend to be like the mediators, I think, in the family. Like they don't want to upset the balance and they want to make things right. That's how I see like the peacemakers. But also I'm really biased because I'm the only child. And from this website that we were reading, middle children tend to be people pleasers, somewhat rebellious, thrives in friendships, has large social circles, and peacemakers. I think that's me. I think all of that is me.
It's funny because they say like rebellious and peacemakers because we had a teacher back in high school who was like, oh, middle childs either end up in prison or become teachers.
Ha! That's so funny.
So, really covering both sides of that spectrum.
Yeah, literally my choices when I graduated high school. President or teacher. I pursued none, but still. I,
That's why every single day you struggle with your
yeah,
identity.
I'm like, damn it, do I belong in prison right now? For legal reasons, I cannot explain why I think I'm somewhat rebellious. Can you tell that I'm a middle child? Like, if you were to meet me off the streets or like see someone, you're like, yeah, you're definitely a middle child.
Um, I don't think if like I think I would have to talk to you a little bit for me to find out that you're a middle child.
Yeah, true. Me and my older brother Hugh have like a 9-year age difference,
Yeah,
and me and my younger brother are 2-year age difference.
which is kind of why I think you also have a little bit of like older child like symptoms as well, just because like he was like already grown pretty much by the time that you were like functional as a kid.
Yes, that is a very good point. What was it like growing up as the only child?
It was cool. I got all the attention. I actually, okay, so I guess this is like the best indication of why I am an only child and my personality is an only child. I'm pretty sure I told my mom not to have more children and I would like throw them out a window because I really didn't want siblings.
Wait, back up, back up. You told your mother that if she had a child, you threatened that you would throw the baby outside the window.
Yes. I think I was like 8, 12 years old.
And your mother did not take you to a mental institution after this or get you for a psych eval.
No. I think that's just, just only child thing.
Yeah, to be fair, a 12-year age difference is like insane.
Yeah.
Um, so I guess I can't blame you, but also like, hey, are you okay?
Yes. I just like I think it's like when you're used to it, like when you're just used to being an only child, it's kind of weird to have like another sibling. Like even now, like I don't think I missed out on anything from not having siblings. And if I were to go back to 12-year-old me, would I make the same decision? Yes, I would.
I don't see it. So I see siblings as like coworkers who are also suffering with a stressful boss.
But that's just because you've been fighting a lot with them.
Yeah. I should specify my younger brother. Mostly because like I think the third lockdown hit us really hard. And because like winter and everything, so you're stuck inside, you're gonna go crazy, you see each other 24/7.
I found the best way to get through that is just to like not talk to them.
That's what my mom said too. Are you my mom?
Your mom, me and your mom have been texting.
Literally every time I go rant to her about my brother, she's just like, "Don't talk to him. Like, just ignore him. Like, why do you need to talk to him?" And I'm like, "If he starts it, I'm gonna end it. Like, he can't walk away thinking he can say this shit to me. Like, I'm gonna school him right now where he stands." It doesn't work out that way.
Yeah, like so I don't have to deal with any of that, which is like kind of nice. The only downside is that like I have to work when like if I had more siblings, maybe they would like we could take turns like working for like my dad instead of just me
Mm,
alone working, you know? Like we could trade off holidays and everything. No, no, we wouldn't even be able to do that.
you wouldn't because
No.
my mom just says all of you work on a holiday. What are you saying?
Yes. Yeah, that is true. Never mind. I take that back. But yeah, great. Really enjoyed it and would not have it any other way. Don't know if you feel the exact same way about being a middle child, though.
No, I agree. I wouldn't have it any other way. Like,
Really?
Um, I mean, only because I don't know what it's like to be the oldest or the youngest. I would imagine it would suck to be either. Actually, I would prefer to be the youngest.
I
I
think
think
you
that.
would have gotten treated better as the youngest. Like, I
I
think you would have become more of like the apple of your mom's eye, like more so now, kind of thing. Because, like, if you're the youngest and, like, let's say your situation's exactly the same, like, you have a job, like, you like help out and everything, everyone would be like, wow, she's so helpful. She's so like independent and mature and everything, you know?
I like to think that my parents do that now.
No, but I'm just saying, like, it's just, I
But
think
yeah, you're right.
there's a stereotype that comes with being like the youngest child that if they do something, it's more, it's like magnified, I guess, because it's like, oh, we don't
Yeah.
expect this from you.
Yeah, I can see that. Like when I did things that were I don't know, that I did things that I thought were common sense, my mom was like, "Oh my god, you never did this thing. Like, this is so new to me. Like, I can't believe you're doing this." Things like buying, like, secondhand textbooks, like, or, like, working till close with my mom, or, like, looking or, like, reading about university insurance, stuff like that. My mom was like, "Oh my god, you guys have insurance? Like, oh my god, I didn't know this was a thing." Like, Hugh didn't tell me at all. He left me out of the process. And he didn't go to his own graduation, but, like, that's different point of views there. I'm not even gonna get into that. So, I think you're right to an extent, and it probably did make Nick look bad in comparison to me,
Yeah.
but, when, like, when I, like, brought this up to my mom and I was like, "How come I'm expected to know all these things and, like, they don't have to? Like, what's the deal here?" And my mom was like, "Oh, it's because they're boys. Like, all they do is argue. Like, I don't wanna talk to them." And I'm like, "What? So I should have just made your life hell and difficult, then you would have left me alone too? Like, what is this? What is
Yeah.
this double-edged sword here?"
Maybe if you were more rebellious, it
God
would have
damn.
been better for you.
I think it's because both my brothers were, like, a little bit more rebellious than me. Like they had like a lot more trouble with teen angst in puberty than I did. So I was like, "Oh, I'm gonna like calm down. Like I don't want any trouble here, officer. I'm just going along my way."
But like, think about if you're the youngest and then both your brothers are like trouble, and then like and you're like not that much trouble, and then like in comparison, you look great, right?
Yes, that is true. But also, because I'm a girl, will they really care?
Yeah. I think the other thing would have been like, I think your brothers would have treated you a little bit better if you were the youngest.
Yeah, they treat me like garbage. They don't appreciate me. Anyone out there who's looking for another sister, hit me up. So, to help us answer some more questions about birth order, we have my younger brother by 2 years here. His name is Nicholas. Nicholas, say hi to the people.
Hello, and
I said
thanks for having me here. I'm very excited to be on the podcast.
he's not a longtime listener or a fan, really.
Not at all.
That's kind of rude. So, really, he shouldn't be here at all. But I guess he knows more about it than Hugh does. Um, So a lot of people have said that me and Nicholas look alike. I do not see it. I actually get offended when people say that. Um, so let us know in the comments if you think we look alike. Wanda, do you think we look alike?
I think you
The
guys look
hell's
very
this?
different now.
What do you mean now?
Is it the hair? I just got my hair cut a few
I
days ago. It's
I
probably that.
when he was younger, I think you guys looked more similar. But like, I mean, he looks more like Hugh.
Yeah, he does.
Yeah, I've gone that many times.
Nicholas, we have some serious questions for you today.
Yes, and I'm ready to answer them.
So, for context, I had asked Nick to record his answers ahead of time, but he sounded really sad, real depressed about being the youngest child. So, we're getting him live today. So, what is it like growing up as the youngest child?
I think growing up as the youngest child, there's a lot of things that are I would say are beneficial in terms of convenience. Um, I think that the treatment is very unfair from the older siblings.
So, when I had asked Hugh about this, Hugh had said it was a lot of responsibility. And he used the Vietnamese word ngung, which means to like to not to share, but to give it to them. Like everything you have to give to them, which is fair. Hugh did that a
Mhm.
lot. And for our representative of an oldest child, we have my nephew Kalen, who had recorded himself. So let me just play this. Okay, Kalen, what is it like growing up as the oldest child?
It was good to be first. Like you have your moments, and it was nice. It's nice to have.
Do you like being the oldest child?
Yes, like Daddy said, it has its good, it has its bad, but I'm still glad to be older. It gives you some advantages, some disadvantages, and you can also say, yeah, your daddy's right. You can boss them around.
That was our in-house oldest child.
No,
subject matter expert.
I like his choice of words. Like he is very smart for a kid his age.
Yeah, he is very eloquent. How old is he?
Yeah.
He is 9.
Yeah, for a 9-year-old. Wow.
He's turning
Yeah.
9 this year, I should say. So
He's
8.
very political in his response.
Well spoken.
He does not want to shake the boat here.
Yeah, honestly, he spoke better than I did when I was like 14.
He speaks better than me now.
Yeah, let's petition to replace Maggie with Kaylin on the podcast.
Okay,
I
why
would
are
listen
we
to that.
We just need to replace me with a female. We already have Jordan replacing me. Now we have Kaylin replacing me. Where is the female representative here?
Me.
Mm.
I like how he says was, like as I was the only child or was the oldest child. Like he
It's
isn't
like, there's gonna be a
anymore.
new oldest child. Watch out, Kaylin.
Watch your back.
Yeah, or he's like something happened to his like little brother or something.
You know that Arthur and DW meme?
Oh, and I know the full quote. It's maybe there's a race for lonely children, and Arthur jumps in and says, "No, it's only children. Like a lonely child is what you're going to be when I sell you."
Oh, that's so funny. Okay, so what would you say were the issues of growing up as the youngest child, Nicholas?
As the youngest child, it's very apparent that you're babied constantly. Being treated as the youngest, in our Asian culture, we're really taught to respect our elders, just based off age. You know, like it's a very common thing. Respect your elders. You know, like you don't respect your grandparents. Why are you looking at me like that?
I respect my grandparents, but not like someone a couple years older than me.
No. The whole thing is that the older
Do you
are,
respect
the more.
me? Tell me right now. Do you respect
To
me?
some degree, I have to respect you. It doesn't be. It's not a matter of whether or not I like you as a person. I respect you as an older sibling. That's what it comes down to, because that's how our culture is. We have to respect our elders. The oldest commands more respect. They can boss you around because that's what they have to do.
Yesterday, I came downstairs and I was like, "Hey, what's this pile of clothes?" And you were like, "Oh, well, someone didn't wash my clothes."
Mostly because you're
What
like,
kind of respect
you know
was
what?
that?
You can wash your own clothes. I'm like, all right.
I shouldn't
then
even
just
be
because-
washing your clothes.
It mostly goes that because our culture is based around actually respecting our elders. I think the exact inverse is also true, that the younger you are, the sort of more naive they feel you are, and because of that, they just respect you less. Just from just naturally. I don't think it has anything to do with like how I act or anything. Okay, how I act is a big part of it. They do respect me a bit less because of that, but aside from that, I do think that because I'm a younger person in the family, I do have less respect.
Disclaimer, I was not crying because I thought it was sad. I was laughing over the respect thing that Nick was talking about, because if you've listened to Maggie at all she does is complain about the fact that Nick doesn't respect her, and it's kind of funny to hear it from another point of view, being like, yes, you have to respect your older sibling.
Of course I have to. I don't want to, and it's kind of fun to just poke fun at her and stuff like that. But of course, like as the older sibling, I have to respect her to some degree.
Would you respect her more if she was a guy?
No, I don't give a shit.
Okay.
Like I respect Hugh in the sense of he's the oldest, so he does his adult stuff. But I respect Maggie in the sense of she's older than me, so she knows more too.
Gun to your head, who do you respect more,
Yeah.
me or Hugh?
Hugh, he's the oldest. He's the one who took care of us as kids. Obviously, I'm gonna respect him more.
Wow, Maggie, step up.
Who do I respect more? Someone who older sibling by 2 years, or someone who literally wiped my ass when I was a kid?
There is only so much I can do when I'm 2 years older than. There's this like John Mulaney quote where it's like how he had a 13-year-old babysitter when he was like 11, and he was like, "This is essentially getting a horse to babysit a dog."
Earlier, I was like, at 12 years old, like if I got a sibling, I would throw it out the window. I think that's part of the reason why, because like you have to raise the child as like if there's that big of an age gap, and it's like I am not responsible enough for raising a child.
At 12, this is too much responsibility.
Yeah. I mean, Hugh took care of us as kids, so I think to some degree, Hugh did raise us.
Yeah, I think the oldest child in a way is like the third parent. So would you prefer to be the youngest child or the only child? Or another place in the rank?
No, the place I would still prefer to be the youngest, just based off my own experiences. So it's a little more biased from my side as the youngest, saying I would do it again. I think hands down I would prefer to have siblings, just because it keeps things interesting. I feel that as an only child, I might be
A lonely child.
Yeah, that was it. I was jumping ahead of myself there. That I might be a little more lonely in the house without other siblings that you can just bother and annoy. vice versa too. So you have your ups and downs. You can bother them, they can bother you too.
And then Maggie, did you say you wanted to stay the middle child?
I did.
Oh, okay.
I think everyone's just a little more biased towards their own like position as it is already.
That's what I said. I said the exact same thing, that because maybe I haven't experienced like the oldest and the youngest, but like middle child wasn't so bad. I think there were pros and cons to each. I am more inclined to the middle child.
Aside from already being the youngest, if you had to give me a choice and exclude being the youngest, I think I would go for the middle child, just because I think the oldest has the most responsibility, and I'm not about that. I just want to stay as far away as possible from that. So less responsibility is better. I'll go for the middle child.
I would like to see what the youngest child lives like, because I think I think I got the best of both worlds, but I never really got like the youngest child experience because someone didn't give me enough time.
2 years, that's all you got. Take it or leave it.
Yeah, I was barely alive when I was 2.
So neither of you would be only children.
No, I don't think so. I think having other siblings to bounce off of is really helpful for just.
I think about it a lot, like being an only child. Like,
Why do you think about it a lot?
But also, I think culture has a lot to play in it too, because we're like still an Asian household. Like we don't show emotion. Like saying I love you.
No, that's
don't
gross.
do it.
That's
Hugging.
gross.
Ugh.
Maggie hugged me once over the past 5 years, and it was just Chinese New Year's, and I want to vomit.
That's why I think you cursed us. That's why I think we're having such bad luck.
Yeah, you
We've
rejected
had
her
bad luck
hug.
for the past year, dude.
No, we've had like really bad luck inside our house.
So what you're saying is that him rejecting your hug was the reason that the COVID-19 pandemic happened.
Yeah,
Yes.
it retroactively did it.
Yes.
I didn't push her away, but I didn't like embrace and hug her back. It was just like
We were fighting, and I said, "I'm sorry," and he did not accept my apology.
No, your
so that's
apology
why
was
think
I'm sorry for the way you reacted, kind of apology.
Okay, guys, this is not a therapy session.
It is a therapy session, Wanda.
You know, it's funny.
Apologetically me, let me hear her apology.
I wrote in my class, I was like, "Oh, therapy is expensive, but starting a podcast isn't." Okay, next question from Kaylin.
Even though it sometimes would save me from some fights and scars, it still would be better. It would be very lonely. So I have to say I would prefer still having a sibling.
That was Gibson.
Not as eloquent.
That perfectly described how I was feeling. Again, Kaylin nailed it on the head. That was really good of him. Very eloquent. Also, I just want to point out scars and battles. Like, they fight a lot because they're younger. I think that's how it is when you have younger siblings. Like, you go through a period of fighting like a lot, like they're your worst enemy, and then you grow out of it when you get older, and you're like, oh, this person's not that bad. We can have a normal conversation without fighting.
Yeah, just verbal fighting instead.
I think in Asian households, like if you fight, like you walk it off. Like you're not gonna
you have to.
You're not gonna like talk it through or anything. You're like, okay, whatever. It's a fight. Like you're not over yet. That happened 2 seconds ago. Like I'm on to something else now.
Yeah.
I think that's how it kind of has to be. Is it the same in your household, Wanda?
What?
Like fights. When you have a fight with your family, do you keep bringing it up? Like, do you forgive them? Like, how is there an end to the fight?
There's never an end.
Forgive, never forget.
Yes, that is our motto.
And rue the day, Neville. Moving on to sibling fights, I had asked Kaylin how often he fights with his younger brother, Gibson, or Gibby. And this was Kaylin's response.
About every day.
Oh, no. Who starts the fights, though?
Me. Usually it's Gibson's actions, but I usually start the fight.
Who ends the fights?
Is there an end to the fight? And I think the end is just when they calm down. I don't think there really is an ending.
That was beautiful.
Do you pick fights with Nick, Maggie?
Yes.
Yeah, but I think we kind of pick fights with each other, like depending on what it is. I like that he said there wasn't an end to the fights, because we were just saying there is literally no end. Like you're not going to get the ending you want. You have to compromise in that sense. But I think that's the same in kind of every household. There is no end to the fight. You just walk it off, as Captain America says.
You die, just walk it off. Yep.
I said that before. Wow.
Wow, you can really tell you're related. Okay, with that being said, do you think that you have youngest child personality traits, which includes fun-loving, uncomplicated, manipulative, outgoing, attention-seeking, and self-centeredness.
Uh, I see that subtle head nod there, May. I genuinely don't think that I'm the last two, attention seeking and self centered. As much as siblings might disagree with that, I find that in my own friend groups and how I act with my own group of people, I'm not really like that at all. The fun loving, uncomplicated part is 100% true, but I generally don't try to make myself like the center of attention. I don't really, I like kind of blending in with the background with just my own sort of interactions. But in, I think our sibling dynamic, I am the most self-centered when it comes to that.
Yeah, I am glad you clarified that because I was gonna school you so hard on the spot. Yeah, that's a fair comparison, I think. Compared to like me and Hugh, I think you are the most self-centered. The more self-centered one, I should say, between the two of us.
Attention seeking, not so much though. I think
Attention
attention seeking,
seeking.
it's more of Hugh.
Well, who am I in this? Where do I fit in this equation? Why am I always cast aside?
You're the middle child. Okay, so then do both of you think that Hugh is reliable, conscientious, structured, cautious, controlling, and achieving?
Yes.
No comment.
Yes. To the positives and the negatives there. I do think that Hugh is the most reliable out of all of us to some degree. Next is Maggie.
Hugh does have like a firstborn qualities. Him and Sarah, his wife. They're both firstborn, so they get along. They rant about their younger siblings.
So would you say Nick is the biggest flake out of all of you?
Actually, no, I think flaking is a big family thing. You think I'm kidding, but I'm not. You see how none of us are laughing? Wait, who, if we have an appointment, who's going to be more late? Like when
Hugh.
we have, yeah, Hugh
Hugh.
for sure.
He's always the latest. Yep.
Well, to be fair, he has kids.
No, even when
Can't help it.
the kids aren't coming, he'll just be like 30 minutes late.
Yeah. He's still going to be the late one.
Yeah, he's still going to be the late one.
That's kind of weird.
Yeah,
Maybe
surprisingly
try
so.
fixing that as a family. And
it's a little too late now.
Yeah, it's a little too late now that he's got his own family. We're not like, hey,
stop,
we were
stop the cycle.
If it's very important, I think we all take it very seriously. But if it's like something not that important, we're gonna take our sweet ass time.
Yeah.
Also, maybe it goes back to the whole attention seeking thing. Like, fashionably late. Look at me. You gotta wait for me. It's my schedule. That's my mom's attitude towards it. She's like, I don't care. It's my time. I'm gonna do whatever I want. That's her thing.
Does she have siblings?
She's the youngest.
Okay. I see where it comes from. Do you think gender plays a part in like the birth order?
100%.
How so?
Like so I think for Asians particularly, like they really want an heir to their name. Like they want, like the traditional sense, like they want the firstborn son because he can continue on the name.
Yeah.
And when he was born, everyone was so happy. Like in Vietnam, they were obsessed with him. And I was telling Hugh about this too.
A scion.
And Hugh was like, yeah, they just grew up around me. Of course, they would be more happy to see me than you guys. Like they knew me, which I agree with. But it's also like, because he had so much pressure on him is because he was the firstborn son.
Yeah. On top of just being the firstborn son, he was the firstborn son of the firstborn son. Like,
yeah, so that's like a huge thing. Usually,
huge
like when you leave behind stuff, like the firstborn son gets like the bigger cut, and girls, they don't appreciate girls as much. I would say. I mean, they do like a girl. Like I want to say that it's not as bad, but they're very happy when they get boys.
So if you were Maggie, born first, do you think they would have been less happy?
Yeah, 100%. They would be less happy.
Yeah.
I think the things I do now as a girl, I think I would be much more appreciated in my parents' eye if I was a boy.
Okay, with that being said, let's move on to what would we do in each situation based on our birth order of being an only child, the youngest child, and the middle child. So, question 1, what would you do if your sibling ate a thing that you were saving?
Wanda, what would you do?
I think I would just be okay with it. It's happened so many times because my dad constantly eats my food without telling me. And so I've just learned to live with it.
Nikki, what would you do?
I think whenever I bring food home, I always offer it around the house first. Like, I just, if I bring a snack home or something like that, bring chips, I'll offer, hey, you want some food first before I just save the rest of it for myself. So if at first they decline and then later I see it, they eat it, it's more like I'm offended by the principle of you didn't want it before, why do you want it now kind of thing. If it's something small like a cookie though, I don't care.
Yeah, I think when I was younger, it mattered to me a lot more. Like, it was very rare back in the day for my mom to make like steak and fries. And when she brought it home, and I'm like a slower eater compared to like my brothers, so they would eat it all. I had like exactly 5 pieces of fries left, and I would call my mom crying, like, "What the hell? Like, I didn't get any fries. Like, no one saved any for me. I could count how many there are." And she was like, "Well, you gotta eat fast. Like,
Gotta eat fast. It's about survival.
yeah, it's survival in
And
this house. Eat fast or you don't eat."
how old were you?
This was yesterday. JK, I don't remember. I want to say a little too old to be crying my mom about fries.
I think I might have been like, it was either when we were in high school or like I was late
High
elementary.
school.
You were definitely in
Don't
high
out
school.
me
I
like
was
that.
like,
I've learned from it, and if I wanted to eat that cookie, I would have got like 2, and I'm like, okay, this is good. Like whatever is left over on the counter is like leftover. What it is, like I'm not saving it. If I wanted it saved, I would have taken it already.
Yeah.
Survival of the fittest.
Next question. Would you buy alcohol for your sibling before they are of age? Wanda, would you buy it for your hypothetical sibling?
Hell yeah, if they're responsible.
what about you, Maggie? Would you? And I'm gonna answer the question for her. Yes.
For legal reasons, no. I think it's like a perk of having like an older sibling. I think like it's your older sibling duty to buy alcohol, but also supervise them. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
like if you're, because you know they're gonna drink no matter what. Like, better that you're around.
These are more, I guess, juicier questions. So, would you donate a kidney to your sibling? I would not. I mean, wait, okay.
What the fuck?
I'll answer my own question. No.
I would need to evaluate the situation. Like, if it was like a life or death thing and I was like a perfect match and there was like no other options, like I'll consider it a bit more. If I like them. What about you guys?
You know, I just both give the same like what kind of thing. I think just
wait, back up. If you didn't like your sibling, you would not donate.
Yeah, why would I want them? Why would I want to keep them alive?
Okay, next question. Okay, Nikki, what would you do?
Of course I would. Regardless of not, it's still family. Like, if I'm a perfect match, then sure, of course I would do it. It doesn't really come down to whether or not I like them, and if it was life threatening. If it will help in any sort of way, I'll do it. Because life threatening or not, if it, you don't need to.
Like, I was saving it for like Taylor Swift, but like, fine.
In a perfect world, Taylor Swift has part of your kidney in her.
Yeah.
Yeah, that'd be cool. And finally, Taylor Swift will respond to Maggie's tweet. In the same vein, would you donate a kidney to your sibling's significant other? I would not.
Well, you wouldn't even donate to your sibling. You think you'd donate it to your sibling's significant other?
Maybe if I like them more than my sibling.
Yeah, I think to some degree they're a little more separated from me. It would really have to go down to how significant they are as the other. You know, is it like your sibling's actual spouse, or is it just like a high school relationship that they have? Like that's a little bit different.
Or father of their children.
I think I would, for the sake of the family, but
Keep it in the family.
I mean, also, I started keeping track of how many people I say I would die for. It's a lot. Yeah, so I guess like I'd have to donate a kidney at that point. If I said I would die for Chris Evans, then I guess I'd have to donate a kidney, right? Yeah, I think I would do it.
Hey, Sarah, if you're listening, I heard Maggie's whole family is O-neg, so if you need a kidney, there's a lot to choose from.
Yeah, you got me, Hugh, Nick. You got options
probably her
here.
dad, probably her mom, somewhere in the family, but
You don't want my parents' kidney. That's not young. You want the young one. Would you do it for your cousin? Any cousin?
Depends on the cousin, I guess.
it really does depend on the cousin. We have a lot of cousins in the family, and I'm gonna be honest, I'm only really close to like 1 or 2 of them.
I would potentially do if they would compete for my kidney. I'm gonna like go under the knife and give you my kidney. I want you to fight for me.
I have multiple questions here. At this point,
Next
I'm wondering.
question.
No, how many cousins are fighting for it? Does this run in the family? Is like kidney failure?
Well, I need this kidney.
Well, I need this kidney at some point in my life. Is more of the question now if they have to fight for it.
Okay, so would you die for your sibling? I'm not gonna give like a scenario of like how you're gonna die, like, but
Someone breaks into your house, they have a gun.
Yeah.
They ask you, would you die for your sibling?
Let's say
That's a very
you see
tough
your
question to answer.
sibling in the middle of the road about to get hit by a car. You know that you can push them out of the way. Do you do it? But you will die if you do it.
First question, what were you doing in the middle of the road? You asshole, you deserved it. I would die for my sibling.
This seems, I want a little bit more enthusiasm in your answer.
I mean, like, if they're playing the middle of the road, like, they really shouldn't have. So, like, I want them to suffer with survivor's guilt.
Okay. Let me do a better scenario.
This is terrible.
This is why I didn't want to.
I want to save you, but I want you to know that I'm the one who saved you.
Yeah, I want you to pass my name. All your children's name will be Maggie.
Like, someone broke into your house and they're like, I have one bullet left. It's either
shoot
for you.
It at yourself.
Would you hang out with your sibling's ex? Yes, if they're good people.
Do you see how this works? I would not donate an organ to my sibling, but I would hang out with their ex.
But like, what if they've been together for like 10 years and like I've developed a friendship with them? Or like, what if I was friends with them first and then they started dating them? Like, okay, wait. Maggie, what if Nick started dating your best friend and then they broke up? Would you stop talking to your best friend?
He's not allowed. I
mean, would you stop talking to your best friend though?
I think that once they start dating your sibling, they kind of change the relationship of the friendship. So they're just
so you would
not
dump
my best friend anymore.
You would
they're not just your friend anymore.
Buddy.
Okay, I guess the next question is going to be like a mute point then. Would you date your sibling's ex?
Unfortunately, I am straight, so no.
Yeah, unfortunately, I'm also straight, so I can't.
You have a brother.
Who's into some? I don't know. They're all like 11 years older than me. I'm sorry. There's a difference in age that I would not.
Cougar train. What would it take for you to cut off contact with your sibling?
Something pretty significant, I think.
Yeah.
Like they legit like screwed me over and my mother and father.
Yeah, I agree.
It would have to be something pretty big. They killed someone.
Okay, killing is a little too drastic.
Oh, I think it's they mugged me.
Can you imagine you're walking in like a dark alley and you see your sibling pop out and you're like, oh hey Nick, and then Nick's like, give me your money.
Give me your fucking money.
They have to be like movie level villain. I think that's
okay. I don't think movie level villain because there are people that have just like there's some.
You would cut off like if you're Thor and like your brother was Loki, would you cut off Loki after what happened in the Avengers?
I mean, yeah.
He's adopted.
He's still a brother.
He's still a brother.
Well, Thor put him in jail, so like.
But like he didn't cut him off.
Not like he gave him money.
No, but cutting off, like contact, not money.
Oh, I mean, okay.
Okay, what about like after the first Thor movie? Would you have cut Loki off then?
Yeah, probably.
Well,
he tried to kill you.
Want to? Like
you know what's funny?
He tried to save him too.
I had this hypothetical question for my mom too. Like, if one of your kids killed someone, would you pay for their lawyer? Like, would you support them? Would you cut off contact? And she was like, I would pay for their lawyer. I would help them out. Like, they're still my kid at the end of the day. Like, I still need to help them. Even if they're guilty, I have to. And I was like, yo, what the hell? This is like some blind loyalty.
No, because I think for if it was actually like she knew they were guilty of it, that's a little bit different. But for mom, I think
she would still have to support you.
Fair enough. You know, she takes her duties as a parent very seriously.
The more you know. Would you support each other if you knew that the other person killed someone?
If I straight up asked them, they said yes, I killed someone. Then I'd be like, all right, no.
No, it depends why. Was it self-defense?
No, it's like you
just murder.
Yeah.
Just straight up, I'm gonna kill
cold-blooded murder.
Then it's like, hey man, why?
If they
Why?
told me that they didn't, I would believe them and try to help them. But if they straight up said, "Yeah, I did it. I killed that dude and I'll do it again," like I probably wouldn't help them.
What if they were like, what if all the like it was very obvious, like they were caught on camera doing it, but then they were like, I didn't do it, man.
Be like, man, lie better. What can we do here? I can't argue with hard evidence.
Would you support them then, even if they denied it?
I still would.
Wait, who did they kill?
Taylor
A stranger?
Swift.
Why
Oh,
does it matter who
God.
they killed?
Yeah, why does it matter? It's someone's life.
I would not support you if you killed Taylor Swift. Why would you do that to
Okay,
me?
not Taylor Swift. What if it was Joe Johnson, huh?
Who's that?
Exactly.
Just some
What if
random
it's someone
stranger.
A
insane?
life is a life. Okay, I probably would. I would. To me, it's always about like, why did you do it? Like, I really want to find out like why. Like, I really like true crime stuff, so I think it'd be me, like my documentary, me interviewing them.
Let's say it doesn't matter. Let's say they were caught on camera in 4K. It's very obviously that they did it. They come to you and they're like, Maggie, I need help with my legal fees. I didn't do it. And what do you do?
Mom, would you kill your sibling for an inheritance?
No.
How much?
Let's say $1 billion.
But like, do I get caught?
Not caught.
Theoretically, no, you don't get caught. Like you could get away with it.
Is it hard to get away with?
Does it really matter?
You asked me a lot of hypotheticals. I'm allowed to ask hypotheticals.
Okay, no, it's not hard at all. You easily get away with it.
Extremely easy. Like they're really sloppy. Like they just regularly go mountain climbing with no surveillance whatsoever. You could easily just like cut one of the ropes and be like,
yeah, they
freak
go
accident.
They
that
go
sort of
cold
thing.
turkey for like a year of no connection, no internet connection.
Yeah, I don't think I would be able. I don't think $1 billion is worth living with the PTSD of killing someone.
Trillion.
I can't spend that much money.
100 billion.
Okay, Nikki, would you do it?
No, not at all. I don't
I'm
care about
also-
money enough to warrant that.
Like, I care about money, but I don't want to kill because I don't want to deal with the
it's
PTSD.
blood money at that point.
Yeah.
Yeah. This isn't the plot to Lion King. We would not kill Mufasa.
Thanks for joining us, Nick.
Thank you for having me. If you like video games, streaming, whatnot, please come follow me twitch.tv/torque_. If you like me here, you'll love me there. Or just, if you're watching this podcast, chances are you're not really my demographic, but please come follow me anyways.
Okay, next up on our segment is guessing a celebrity's birth order. This is another little game that we invented. And Christina is a longtime listener for us, family friend, #1 fan for us. We had her on this podcast to help us referee. Christina, do you want to introduce yourself a little bit?
Hello, my name is Christina. I am a huge fan of the show. Probably a part-time producer. I'm not a part-time. No, please don't.
She gives us a lot of advice. She helps us out with like really cool marketing stuff. She is basically our part-time content producer.
Just sign me up. This is an honor to be here.
Okay, happy to have you on. Thank you for refereeing for us. Okay, so how it's going to work is Wanda and I are going to list some celebrities and we're going to guess what birth order they are and give our reasoning. And then Christina will give us the final answer. And she will also be keeping score of who wins. I think I'm going to win because I think I have a good sense for these things, but we'll see.
Maggie also has more celebrity knowledge than the average person, so...
Yeah, so it took like a really long time for me to nail down this list, but Christina also knows a lot. Ready? So the first one is Robert Downey Jr. Wanda, what do you think he is?
Like, it has to be, like, he has only child energy. Like, he's so, like, I guess, pompous, like, self-centered. Youngest child energy?
Youngest child. I think it's youngest child. Only because his history with, and I know I shouldn't be bringing this up, but his like drug history in the past, he had a very troubled like past growing up. So I think it's because he had so much like pressure, like you're not like your oldest brother, you're not like your dad. See, Robert Downey Jr. See, I mean, I know the senior is the dad.
Wait. But when you the junior is always the oldest born child. Or
this
like
is a good point.
So like he only has to have he has to have sisters, right? Like that's the only way that would.
No, I think
has.
my reasoning is bad, but I think it's youngest child.
Okay, I think it's middle child, going back to the whole, if you are a middle child, you either become a teacher or end up in prison.
All right, so the answer is he is the younger sibling. He has an older sister named Allison.
I thought it would have been
God
older brother, but
damn it. Like, he had to have a sister or something if he was like because he's Robert Downey Jr. So if he had an older brother, it wouldn't have made sense.
Yeah, that's the dad was like, you know what? Fuck the older brother in particular. I'm gonna carry the name to the youngest brother. We're gonna stop here.
Damn. 1 point for Maggie.
Hey, okay. Next one.
All right, next up we have Reese Witherspoon.
Wanda, what do you think?
Only child. I think she's responsible, leader, go-getter, everything an only child should be.
I completely agree with that. I think she is an only child, and like I've seen her in interviews, like she's very energetic. Like she seems like she is used to entertaining herself, and like she's just like so. She seems like very like self-oriented. Like she has a lot of control over herself, like responsibilities. So I agree. I think she is an only child.
So you both are wrong. She is a younger sibling because she has an older brother named John.
Wow.
What's the age difference?
I don't know, but
must be huge.
Looking at photos, it's pretty significantly.
Yikes. Damn, I've never seen pictures of Reese Witherspoon with anybody, like with like a sibling. So I always just thought that she was like an only child.
Me too.
Huh.
Damn.
Yeah, she does have that vibe. I get it. Next up, we got Awkwafina. Oh my god, my girl. Wanda, what do you think?
The one child policy.
I was just gonna say, I agree. One child, only child.
Yeah, only child.
Damn, you both got that right.
Just want to say, I do love Awkwafina. I think mostly because she was like raised in New York too. I don't know if it's maybe like the New York personality, but it's very much like, I'll do my own thing. I don't give a fuck.
Yeah, she's specifically from Queens, so it's like you
Nora
feel
from
that
Queens.
vibe.
That's the show.
Yeah, that's right.
I've not seen it, but I want to see it because I don't got HBO.
Never stopped you before.
Okay, next up is Steve Carell.
Oh,
okay, Wanda.
I went first last time. You go first this time.
I think he's oldest. No, tricky because he kind of like has all of the traits, but I think oldest. I think he, like, if you look at his career, it's like astounding. Like, he has so much range. I think he's used to taking on the responsibilities, and he's entertaining. Oldest child.
I think he's a middle child because he has like a large social circle and he is a peacemaker.
All right, so both of you wrong again. The millionth time. He is the younger sibling. He's actually the youngest sibling of 4 brothers: Gregory, Timothy, and Michael.
Wow.
God damn, Steve.
Yeah, I'm sorry, guys.
You're the most responsible youngest child we know.
Then again, if you really think about it, like Michael Scott, like maybe that's how Steve Carell really is.
Yeah, maybe he wasn't playing as a character after all.
Maybe Steve Carell is the character.
All right, next up is our queen, our Lord and Savior, Lizzo. Maggie, you go first.
Only child. Oh, no, I completely agree. I think she's an only child.
She has badass energy, so...
Yeah, it's very, like, I think the energy she has is very, like, I know what I want, I'm gonna get it. And it's very, like, put myself first. I think
I vibe with
only
that.
child.
Yeah.
Only child, yeah.
All right, both of you are wrong. She's the younger sibling. So she has 2 older siblings named Vanessa and Mikey.
I see it. Venn diagram.
What's the Venn diagram?
There's an overlap when it's like, I know what I want, gonna do what I want. Younger sibling, I'll do what I want.
Fair. That's fair. God damn it.
All right, we're on our last one, and it's Will Smith.
I want to say middle child because he's like very same reason for Steve Carell, where he's like very like peaceful and like but then like the Fresh Prince days. It's hard because it's like I've seen him grow up on TV, so now I don't know. He was like very youngest child. But then, like, why didn't his brothers help him or sisters help him or anything?
Yeah, this is tricky. I also agree. I think he's somewhere in the middle. I think he can't be the oldest because he doesn't seem to be he seems responsible, but not like that responsible. But he seems the youngest where it's like carefree. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but if I say the same answer as you, then not like neither of us, we're either gonna both win or both
Okay,
lose.
fine. I say, okay, should we be like really specific?
Yeah.
Yeah, be
Wait.
very specific.
I think he's the second.
Of what? But
Oh,
still,
shit.
you're just saying the same
I
thing. He's a
think
middle child.
Not like he's the middle, but I think to be exact, he's the second.
The
Who do you
second child.
Yes.
I think he is. I want to like. I think he's an only child. Because I've never seen pictures of his siblings before. But then he's not. But he's like, is he responsible enough to be an only child?
So Maggie was right because she also had the sibling order right.
Damn.
He
I
is the
totally
second.
guessed.
So he has an older sister named Pamela and then 2 younger twin siblings named Harry and Ellen.
Damn.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
So
I
Maggie,
actually did not know that at all.
Wow.
So that's kind of funny.
I'm gonna go on the fact that I said middle child first.
You
and then
did.
he copied
Yeah.
me, and I wanted to be different, and I didn't want it to result in a tie.
yeah,
Yeah,
Wanda,
okay,
you
sure.
said the middle child, and I was like, yes, like she's doing it. And then you said the French Prince thing, and I was like, oh no, she's
it's
she's
like,
overthinking it.
Because with the Fresh Prince, it was like because he will like when back in the day he got into like a lot of like trouble with like the IRS and stuff. And it's like, why didn't anyone help him?
He did? Oh,
Yeah,
shit.
he didn't pay his taxes.
Oh,
like
well.
so. Like he was broke when like the Fresh Prince people approached him to do the show about like him, and then that's how he kind of like regained the money and the fame and everything, and promises to be more responsible next time. But like, why didn't anyone help him or tell him to pay your taxes?
Maybe it's like you dug your own grave, my dude. Fix it.
Okay,
Sounds
fair.
like a you problem.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, no one helps the middle child.
Exactly.
So true.
Well, I guess Maggie is the official winner of birth order celebrity birth order trivia.
I am very creepy. I just know birth orders. I know celebrities. Go me. Also, I have a lot to think about why I'm using this much brain space for this.
But also, is this a testament to that birth order doesn't really define personality, or is it just a testament that we don't really know celebrities that well?
I think both. Question for our viewers. Do you think personality traits can be traced back to your birth order and vice versa? Let us know what you think. And let us know what else we should talk about too on the podcast. We're totally open to suggestions. And if we like you enough, we'll invite you on our podcast.
Thank you for having me. This is
Thank
is
you.
the best day of my life.
So yeah, that was our question to our viewers. Don't forget to follow us on TikTok, Instagram, Twitter. Listen to us wherever you get your podcasts. Subscribe to us on YouTube for the full effect. Also, we released our BuzzFeed quiz. So take that out. Figure out if you're a Maggie girl, a Wanda girl. What team are you? What would you do in our situation?
Yeah, comment below. Apparently I'm a Wanda girl after taking it, but I thought my whole life I was the Maggie girl.
I would have thought you were a Maggie girl too.
Yeah,
I know,
we
but
got a lot to reflect here.
The only other person who was a Maggie was Jordan, which is like, I guess I just have only Maggies in my life.
She has only Maggies and also type O blood types. So blood bags was what she was saying.
Yes, it's nice to know that you have people there who can just donate organs on a whim.
Yeah, you won't donate it to us, but we will donate it to you
I'm
for
sorry,
the people pleasing.
You know, I have a type. You want to be my Maggie, you just got to be O-neg. You have to have all of your organs, and you have to be a people pleaser. That's it. Easy.
Easy criteria. Exactly.
Yeah. And I'm all of that and more.
We can talk afterwards to replace Maggie.
How many people are gonna replace me?
It's an open job posting on LinkedIn.
We got a big lineup. Salary is $0, by the way. Qualifications are very low. Well, thank you everyone for listening. We will see you next week.
Bye.
Bye.